In the world of wealth, two men make a choice. One of them bets on solid ground. The other bets on a whisper in the market. Now here's the thing. Both of them think they've cracked the code. And you know what? Both of them are wrong. We're opening the case file on a 20-year financial duel. So just to be clear, this isn't some boring lecture. This is an investigation.
So let's meet our two subjects. In this corner, we have Jake. He's the guy who chooses the stone. You know, something real, something you can actually touch. And in the other corner, there's Marcus. He goes for the paper, an idea, really, a promise just kind of flickering on a screen. They're standing at the exact same starting line, but their paths are about to diverge, right now.
And here it is, the key piece of evidence, $50,000. This is the single link connecting both men, and it's not just money. Oh no, it's a choice, it's a weapon, and it's the seed of a 20-year mystery we're about to unravel.
Okay, let's examine the first move here. Watch this closely. His $50,000 doesn't just buy $50,000 worth of, anything. Nope, it becomes a key that unlocks a $250,000 asset. Think about that. He's controlling 5 times his investment from day one. This, right here, this is the superpower of real estate. It's called leverage.
Now, let's look at Marcus. His $50,000 buys exactly $50,000 of the stock market. That's it, 1 for 1. There's no multiplier, no borrowed power. On day one, it seriously feels like he brought a knife to a gunfight. I mean, he has a confirmation email. Jake has a whole house.
And those initial numbers? They are intoxicating. Jake collects the rent, he subtracts the mortgage payment, and he sees almost $500 left over. On paper, it is a clear, undeniable win. He's telling his friends, he can feel the success. This is the official story, the one that makes everyone just nod along in approval.
For the first 3 years, Jake is absolutely living the dream. He can drive by his property, he gets tax breaks from the government, the value is slowly climbing, every single part of this investment feels real, it feels smart, it feels superior. He's not just building wealth, he's building status. It's an open and shut case. Or so it seems.
But, in any good investigation, you have to look past the surface. You have to question the story that everybody believes. Because the numbers you jot down on a napkin are never, ever the numbers you find in the actual evidence file.
And here we have Exhibit A, the gross cash flow, almost $17,000. It looks impressive, right? It looks like a total victory. This is the number Jake sees, the one he's totally focused on. But honestly, it's just a distraction from the truth.
So now we begin the autopsy. We're going to pull this number apart, piece by painful piece, to find out where the money really went. And right here, this is where the official story just completely falls apart. Follow the money with me. First, property taxes, they take a big slice. Then insurance takes another. Then, boom, the big hits. A new water heater, a surprise leaky roof. Oh, and we can't forget that 1 month the property just sat empty, bleeding money. As you can see, that big, beautiful pile of cash just shrinks with every single cut.
And this is what's left. After 3 years of work, of late-night calls, of constant stress, about $3,000. That $17,000, it was an illusion. This is reality. And our case is taking a very sharp turn.
So here, we've laid the two realities bare. On one side, you have Jake, with hundreds of hours of work for just a few $1,000s in cash flow. And on the other side, Marcus. 0 hours of work, 0 emergencies, and his initial $50,000 has just quietly grown into a portfolio worth $76,000. How is that even possible?
Well, while Jake was on the phone with plumbers, a silent partner was working for Marcus, a relentless, invisible force that takes time and literally turns it into money. It's a force called compounding, and believe me, it's only just getting started.
See, this case isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. We have to fast forward the clock. Let's look at the evidence at year 5, then year 10, and finally at the 20-year mark, which is where the final truth is always revealed.
By year 10, something pretty shocking has happened. Just look at these numbers. Jake's equity, built with all that leverage and hard work, is about $177,000. Marcus's portfolio, built with nothing but pure patience, is at $172,000. I mean, they are neck and neck. That silent force has caught up.
So here's the crucial point. The numbers on the screen are almost identical, But the human cost? It's not even close. Jake has spent a decade managing this massive debt, dealing with tenants, with repairs. Marcus, on the other hand, has done nothing but wait.
And now the final count. 20 years later, after all the work, all the leverage, all the compounding, they end up in virtually the same place. We're talking around $450,000 each. The initial verdict seems pretty clear. Two different paths, but the same exact destination.
So the core of this investigation was never really about the final number. It was about the journey. Jake worked, Marcus waited. Jake took on this really concentrated risk in an asset he couldn't sell quickly. It was totally illiquid. Marcus, though, he accepted the market's wild swings, its volatility, for the freedom to sell at any given moment. It was stress versus simplicity. But just when you think the case is solved, a new piece of evidence always seems to emerge. We've examined the cash, sure, but we haven't examined the code, the tax code. And let me tell you, real estate has some pretty serious tricks up its sleeve.
This is secret weapon number 1, depreciation. It sounds boring, but listen to this. The government literally lets Jake claim his building is losing value on paper, even while its real market value is going up. This creates a paper loss that legally shields his rental income from taxes. It's an incredibly powerful advantage that Marcus, with his stocks, simply doesn't have.
So the defense for real estate really rests on this evidence. You've got that incredible leverage, the forced savings of paying down a mortgage every month, the security of a physical asset you can actually see, and of course, these powerful tax shelters. When it's used correctly, it is a formidable wealth-building machine.
And hey, let's not forget the risks on Marcus's side that we've kind of ignored until now. The market can drop 30% in a month. And that's not just a number on a screen. That is a gut punch that causes most people to panic and sell at the worst possible time. His path was absolutely not guaranteed to be stress-free.
So what's the final verdict here? The truth is, there isn't one winner. Jake's path is one of active work, and it's driven by leverage and tax advantages. Marcus's path is one of patience, driven by compounding and sheer simplicity. The better investment isn't the asset, it's the strategy that actually fits the investor.
So we close the file on this case, but a new one opens. Jake chose to work, Marcus chose to wait, and we've proven that both paths can lead to pretty much the same destination. But the most intriguing question still remains. What happens when you refuse to choose? What happens when you do both? Well, that changes everything.